Michelle, and I have an 11-year-old son that's on the autism spectrum.
Hi, my name is Anita, and I have a 5-year-old son that's on the autism spectrum.
And we wanted to create this channel to build awareness and community for other moms like ourselves that have kids on the spectrum. And for myself, I know there's a lack of inclusion, even though there's a lot of work that's been done and people have advocated for things. I still think there's a lot of work to be done.
I agree.
So one of the main reasons that I wanted to start this channel is to build awareness of kids on the spectrum. For instance, yesterday I had a really tough experience. As you know, a mom of kids on the spectrum, we have good days just like everybody else where we're like, oh wow, our kids are making so much progress. And then we have those hard and challenging days that just really get to our core, and it's really difficult. And a lot of people don't understand those type of days, except for other moms and other parents that have kids on the spectrum. So I have two sons. I have one that's 11 and one that's 9. And my 9-year-old son shared an experience of something that happened at school yesterday. And his experience was that during recess, a kid that we had ran into the day before at an indoor playground. Anyway, they were at recess, and this kid that we had ran into started mimicking my son that's on the spectrum and mimicking his stems, as other people with autism are aware of, moms of kids with autism are aware of. And he was mimicking the stems and laughing, and other kids joined in laughing. And my son that's not on the spectrum was really hurt because he loves his brother so much. And it was really hurtful to him. And it was so hurtful to me as well when he shared the story with me. And those are the kind of days that I wanted to do this channel for, is to share that awareness of like what it's like for them, what it's like to have stimuli coming at them, whether it's bright lights, loud noises, and their body reacting to this. And we want to be their voice. And Anita, do you have anything to share?
I completely agree. There's so many scenarios and things that happen in our lives that maybe friends and family can't associate to because it's so different for us. And then this is how we actually met. I met Michelle through my daughter that doesn't have autism, but she actually went to her son's school, and she has a very close relationship with my son too. So she's associated herself with kids that are on the spectrum and special needs. So she, on recess, she would always play with Leo and other kids that are on the spectrum because she wanted to be helpful and play with them. So this is how we met. And then Michelle is my really close friend now because this brought us together, and everything I share with her and she shares with her, we exactly know how each other feel because we go through it every day. And some people, it's hard to understand what's happening all day. If they see our kids for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they think, there's nothing wrong with them, or it looks fine, or they'll grow out of it, or there's so many comments that I'm sure you guys are used to getting that it kind of inside you hurts you because you're thinking you have no idea what we go through every day. And with our kids being affected by it that are not on the spectrum or have special needs, we have some neighbor kids that come and play, and they always ask how come he's acting weird, or how come he's acting so crazy, or how come he's repeating what we're saying. Or my son always calls everyone else brothers even though they're not his brothers. Then I have had kids saying, I'm not your brother, why are you calling me brother? And they just don't get it. But then my daughter tries to explain herself all the time, saying he has special needs and he likes to call you guys brothers even though you guys are just his friends. But it's always trying to protect him and be there for him. And then it hurts her feelings when she comes and tells me how come they're calling you weird, or they're laughing at him, or they're always not wanting to play with him, or we find some friends distancing themselves from us because of my son. He's always eloping or running away. So there's a lot we're going to talk about, a lot of topics we're going to talk about. There's so much to discuss. We're
in so many similar things where kids have said, why doesn't your son talk, or why doesn't he respond to my questions? And he's totally capable, but they don't see that other side, and they don't see those times that he does respond to me. And first time he said I love you too. Things that. They don't see those moments. There is so much judgment from people misunderstanding what they say or what they do, that we really want to build that community. This is going to be a channel that we're going to talk about the joys of having a kid on the spectrum. We're going to talk about the hardships of having kids on the spectrum. We're going to talk about things we can do to build awareness with having kids, and neurodivergent in general. Special needs will include other kids with special needs as well at some point, and we'll bring in some friends that also other moms that have neurodivergent children. Maybe they can share some different things with us, and then we're going to ask you to share things, and we're gonna tell funny stories that
Yes.
happen, and we're just gonna try to be a wide range of different things.
Yes, I wanted to add, we're gonna share some programs that kids with special needs are applicable for to get, like our in-home supportive services, programs that they can get through regional center if some parents don't know. I know there's a lot of moms and dads that don't know about in-home supportive services that you can get for your child on the spectrum, even if they're a minor and they're underage. We can help you with that. We can talk about it on the episode about how to get that and all the information linked to it. And like Michelle said, we have a lot of funny stories, also struggling but also funny. We're just like used to it. But like one funny story is when my son was younger, he would scream and like say help me and like it looked like I kidnapped him, and I was trying to take him to school, and he would just like, he wouldn't talk, he wasn't verbal, but then he knew how to say help me, and everyone's looking at me like help me, and I was trying to put him in the car seat, so it looked like I was like forcing him into the car, and he's telling other people help me. But there's a lot of stories where I end up like on the floor even with him, just to try to get him up and try to get him to calm down because of the physical harm or like all the tantrums that he was throwing. But there's like also funny things about it too that we can talk about and laugh about later.
Exactly. Like there's times that are super stressful at that moment. Like one day I took my son to Target and he had just had too long of a day. It wasn't that he didn't really like Target. It was just that I didn't know how to really ask him if he had too much going on that day in his brain. And so because their brain works so differently than ours. And so I just thought it would be okay to take them to Target after school. Well, when we were in Target, he just says what he's feeling, and he said, I hate Target, I want to get out of Target, and he was shouting. And to me, I was like mortified because he usually likes Target. So this was like, so I was mortified, and I was just doing everything I could to just get out of there as quickly as possible. And it's just moments like that we want to share also. And then like Anita said, like the programs, like I know my son has done some amazing programs at UCLA, and I would love to talk about those programs. And then if there's any feedback from any of you that programs that you've done, we'd love to hear from you. And
you are not alone.
Yes,
and we're here all here together. You're at in the world, we're all in the same boat. We're all on the same team.
Yes, exactly.
We work together. It doesn't matter where you live, a part of the world, where you're at, if you're rich, poor, we're still all on the same kids on the spectrum. So
exactly, like there's days that I feel like so alone that when my kid has a tantrum and I'm just like trying to pull it together because I just feel so alone. But then that's when we remember that we have this community. We have this community, and there's a lot of other people going through the same thing.
When I first realized that, when I was trying to get my head straight to like that he actually does have autism when he was younger, what helped me was watching videos on YouTube of moms talking about them finding out and them being like emotional about it and realizing that they could have this. But the most important thing is to get them the help they need, and being aware and having a community to help you out with that, because it can make such a big difference than just not admitting to it.
Exactly. And that's what another thing that we're going to talk about, what it was like for us when we first got that diagnosis. And I know I was alone at the time at the appointment with my kid, so we want to definitely talk about that and just really just build this community and this awareness. So we just thank you for tuning into our channel, and we hope that you like it and subscribe to our channel and continue watching.